Too many times we've watched our history whitewashed with lies. No, you can't deny me, 'cause I'm a product of your Australian history. From Blue Mountains to Sydney, this is our family. No, you can't deny me, a Sydney originally. One of the reasons I wrote that is because Australia, we don't even know our own history. You say Kui because around the country it means come here. It was a call sign for other people to come into country. You say Kubra Hat because Cabra, like Cabramatta, means the head of the waterways before it goes into the Georges River is Cabramatta. You say Bondi, that's a hard crashing wave. You ride a boogie board, why? Because boogie is to bathe. You say g'day because that's how the Darug responded to good day. G'day. And you say wallaby, wombat, waratah, you say boomerang, corroboree. These are all our words. And yet 20 years ago we were extinct and our language had been wiped out. Ironically, our language is the largest Aboriginal language spoken by every Australian in this country. And how come you didn't know about it? When we talk about closing the gap, how are people supposed to lift, Aboriginal people supposed to lift their intentions, lift their aspirations when our country denies its own history? We are not 200 years young, Australia. We're 40, 60,000 years old. It's really hard sometimes, you know, we go to celebrations and you see the redcoats. I wonder how they'd feel if we started lying around with smallpox markings and chains around our necks at the same celebrations. But we're still trying to behave ourselves and show good manners. We wish the rest of the world would do the same. This one was given to me by my cousin Cindy, and I sing it quite often, but it's a strong song. And she was given it in language and the words, and then the ancestors asked me to put to music. And it was only when the Dharawal Changing Season book came out, because the Dharawal language, some of the words are similar in Darug. We do have words that cross over to Wiradjuri. We have crossover words with other mobs, because in our way of thinking, in European way, you know, you say our boundary, but our boundary was only a place where our people frequented. Everybody had right, you know, people had sharing rights. So they were allowed to share in hunting areas, you know. We shared our families. Instead of fighting with each other, we married each other, you know. And if there was a big fight, and that was called our war, you know, maybe there was 12 men one side, 12 men the other. That was a big war. And then a story was written about that for a long time. Because we're not ones to go and... I'm not going to feel the same going up the coast and taking over someone else's country, because I don't feel the ancestors there like I do here. And this song was about trying to stop the development on the ADI site, because we've lost more than 90, or we've got less than 15% of the Cumberland Plain left. You need at least 15% to actually sustain life. Now, this isn't just for us as Darug people, this is for all your grandchildren, your great-great-great-great-grandchildren. Because we need to start making decisions for 5th, 6th generations to come, not for ourselves. And this is where, you know, we get frustrated. How many different ministers have we met over this time? How many different prime ministers? And it's the same story each time, depending on who gets in power. And it's frustrating because, you know, there's so many polys you can meet. And I really hope that people start... See, our family never signed over our sovereignty to anyone, and we never signed over our land. Our land has been forgotten, and our laws are disobeyed. Our people have been changed. Will their souls return to us? Our soul and spirit are one, and we watch this land disappear. The earth is calling us, and let us all be one. Yananama, yananam. Better gal, bitchy gal, yananama. The river holds our tears, and the shadow of the tree, it hides our shame. The wind carries our voices, and the rain pours down our souls. Better gal, bitchy gal, yananama. Our colour has been changed, and some spirits will return. Those who are true will walk among us and dream. You must listen to the voices that you hear from afar, and know we walk with you, and know it's time to heal. That lady was right. So come together, learn all our lore. Let's come together and heal this land that's ours. Let's all dream together and bring us all to one. Better gal, bitchy gal, yananama. And feel us in your hearts. And when I was telling you the story about the ADI site, that bitchy gal, according to the Darawal book, is the grandmother's life cycle. Now, when the song was explained, why were we given that song, it was because of men make big decisions now. And men are in a lot of power, where some of those decisions times past were women's business. And so in turn we're singing this song, so we have those in power. Ironically, we've got a Prime Minister that's female now, so that might have worked really well. But we need to have right decisions, and we need it to be under that female understanding of we're all connected. When we say we are the land and the land is us, it's because, like, let's look at it scientifically. We're made up of atoms and molecules just like everything else here. Every day we do an exchange of photons with the sun. We are scientific people, we're practical people. Why isn't this researched in our schools? You want to close the gap, give Aboriginal people a chance to show what they know, so the rest of the 21st century can catch up to the knowledge that has been. We've got fire going crazy in this country, and yet we're still not practicing a practice that happened in here for 40, 60,000 years. That works. We wouldn't have gone up to the Blue Mountains in summertime if we're going to burn to death. You know, these are just little things, but they're really real to us. How many heads and statues are there around this country praising people who were actually people who put laws out to shoot us, who put laws out to harm our families? And we got to go to places where they're commemorating and all those sort of things, and you think, wow, we're still doing it, but we'll still be nice about it. The Great Western Highway was not something discovered by three men in coats. It was actually a track that had been walked for 40, 60,000 years. Your Richmond Road, your Parramatta Road, your Botany Bay Road, you're not shaming it or hiding it because people don't want to hear about Aboriginal business. We are the national treasure. Not someone who's going to mine the hell out of our country is a national treasure. The reason why this country is so beautiful, because our family looked after it. And my last thought is, how come every church and every religion is given the respect of a religion, and yet as Aboriginal people, we have the largest Aboriginal population in Australia here, and we can't even fit half of the people in this little room. Where do our people get to practice 24 hours a day, 7 days a week? Where are our camps? How can we hand down our culture when we've got nowhere to hand it down? Our families need support 24 hours a day, not just in your 9 to 5. Please think about that, because how can we train up younger ones? I mean, I've got a little 2-bedroom cottage up in Mount Vic, and I can assure you lots of people come and stay, but it's getting pretty tight. We need a place, because there's a lot of Aboriginal people that want to know more about who they are. And okay, they might be from other areas, but at least we can give them a base from where they live in. Didgeridoo, thank you for sharing your ears with me and your eyes, and I hope this day brings the success you're needing. Yano.